Hello and welcome. This reading will be for Gemini for February 2023. Welcome to the table, Gemini. I do hope you enjoy my flowers and the crystal arrangement. This is a harmony arrangement. Thank you for joining me today. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'm an intuitive reader and I read in real time. I use 3 decks of cards. Sometimes I don't use the third deck, but normally I would use three decks to, and the last deck will be just to clarify just very small sections of the reading. So I use a 10 card spread with 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. That'll be past, present and future. I talk about those cards and then I overlay them with a second deck of cards and I talk about those cards as well. I try and collate the reading as I'm going through and try and highlight cards that I feel may need to come to your attention, and also to point out certain aspects of the reading. When I hold up the cards, I also like you to form your own opinion, because it is very important that you are part of this reading. So if you get a feeling or, a little bit of a nudge about something when I hold the card up, take that as being a valid little message from the tarot to you. Okay, I'm not the only one who's reading these cards. I want you to join me in this reading. Okay, I'll start the reading now. The flowers are from my garden. I do hope you enjoy them. They smell beautiful. They have a wonderful, heady, aromatic smell. Very, very nice. Okay. First card out, the Emperor. Oh, very powerful energy. Oh, the Devil. Wow, 2 big cards right at the beginning. The Fool in reverse. Already you've got 3 major arcana cards out here, Gemini. Wow. These are big cards. Oh, the Star, another 4th one. Oh my goodness. Wow. 5 major arcana cards on the table. Amazing. The Fool's in reverse, the Star's in reverse, and the High Priestess is in reverse. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a heavy month for you, Gemini. And that doesn't mean heavy energy necessarily, but there's some powerful forces around you. So, wow, let's do the second row. Okay, we've got the 2 of Cups, Ace of Swords, 4 of Wands, 4 of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. So the Ace of Swords is in reverse, 4 of Wands is in reverse, 4 of Swords is in reverse, and the Knight of Cups is in reverse. On the bottom row, the only one in the upright position is the 2 of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, I'll show you. Okay, what have we got there? Okay, we've got the 2 of Swords in reverse. So that can be a blockage or a crossroads for you. I'll talk about that one straight away. This is sort of a bit of a blockage, perhaps feeling a little bit trapped or locked in, not being able to make up your mind perhaps, but it actually can also very much just be a little pause or a blockage in the energy, which is interesting because, wow, that top row is powerful. Okay, let's start talking about the top one. So now, before I start, he, she, they, when I talk about the cards as being he, she, they, I'm talking about the energy on the cards. A male or a female or, a gender neutral person can also be linked to one of these cards. It's not gender specific is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the Emperor. This is a very powerful energy, very powerful person if this person is in your life, but it could just be an energy. Now, this is somebody who has full control of their life, full control of their future, their funds, their state of mind, their emotions. This is somebody who doesn't get out of control, maybe even a little bit too rigid, but this is somebody who can be very powerful in the world, can be sort of the head of a large corporation, head of a bank, head of a big business. This is not a small time energy. Okay, so he's quite active. He knows exactly what he wants. He doesn't tolerate any nonsense whatsoever. He won't tolerate any flim flam or any sort of, you know, wishy washy sort of an answer to anything. He'll expect a direct answer and a direct result. Okay, so all powerful, very strong, very commanding sort of a person, but can be a little bit rigid and a little bit inflexible. Although they have full command of their faculties and full command of their business and their emotions, they sometimes can be a little bit inflexible. They may not be able to see your point of view because, they're pretty sure of themselves. Here we've got the devil. So the devil is, it can be about entrapment and enslavement. It's next to the emperor. So perhaps you're allowing the emperor to have too much control of you in your life situation. Perhaps you are bonded to an emperor. Perhaps an emperor can be your boss, maybe having too much control of your life in the sense that there's no balance with your life. That could be the case. It can be all manner of things with the devil there. As I say, it can always be related to alcohol, drugs, sex, being a workaholic. You could be, you could have sexual fantasies. You could just be somebody who is so engrossed with their job that you don't have time for your family or your friends. It's overly committed. So this is basically a card of overcommitment. Now that can be on your part or somebody around you being overcommitted to how they use your time and energy. So that's the kind of enslavement we're talking about, in an entrapment. And it's up to you to determine, Gemini, how that affects you. Only you will know who this emperor is or what this emperor energy is, and only you will know in which way you're being affected by some sort of an enslavement, entrapment, or sometimes it can be something that your mind won't let go of something. You only have this rigid fixed point about what you want and what you want to do, and you can sometimes become enslaved to your own mind. This is the Fool. Now the Fool is usually commencing a new journey, and normally when he commences that journey, he's carefree, and happy and relaxed, and he's not carrying any baggage with him. He's certainly not bringing baggage from the past with him. He's starting all over again. He's totally carefree. He can be a little bit unwise. Sometimes he could, especially in comparison to the Emperor, he would be considered completely unwise, because the Emperor would never set off on a rash journey or suddenly go on a trip overseas. The Emperor would plan everything and execute everything very carefully. This is more an energy of sort of just making a rash decision or starting off on a journey without perhaps having worked everything out. But this is a carefree energy. It's in reverse. So there's probably some warning about, and usually when the card is in the upright position, in the reverse position, it can mean either that there's a delay or this is a little bit of a warning to you about something. So perhaps in this situation, it may be a little bit of a warning to not jump off into a new adventure or a new way of doing things, or a trip overseas without perhaps giving it some little bit more thought. So that could be a warning. You've got the Star on the table. So the Star is a beautiful energy. This is coming from the cosmos, some sort of a divine assistance, some bright spark moment, a wish coming true. Perhaps you were hoping for a wish to come true. It's finding a balance between your worldly position and what your mind wants and what your spirit wants and what your soul wants and what your emotions need. It's finding a balance between all of those things. But the Star card on the table of itself, even in the reverse position, is very nice. The only other thing I can say is in the reverse position is that perhaps you were hoping to have been more successful or more of a star, or perhaps that you could shine your light a little bit brighter, or that you expected life maybe to have put you in the spotlight a little bit more. That's the other aspect of the star in reverse. We've got the High Priestess. Now the High Priestess is intuitive. She sits on her throne or her meditation stool, and she's reading her scriptural books. So she's reading the Torah there. She's sitting between the black pillar and the white pillar. She's finding balance between her conscious and her subconscious mind. She's allowing herself that time to reflect and pause, and this could be meditation, perhaps. It could be your yoga practices, it could be your biblical studies, it could be your studies of the Quran, it could be any one of those things. It could be, this is your religious study. So perhaps you're neglecting your religious studies or not finding time to have meditation or praying. It can be any one of those things, perhaps not finding time enough to find that balance within yourself between your spiritual side or what your soul wants. Maybe you're so busy doing things that you're not actually having time to pause and reflect and just allow yourself to be on earth and just existing and communing with nature and just being. Now you have the Two of Cups. So this is about love. This is a love that's formed between two people who, they're in that commitment of when they first meet one another. It's that adoration, that love, that complete engrossment in one another, totally saturated in that young love, that love that starts, that is typical of a new relationship. So you've got that on the table, which is interesting that it's under the Emperor. We'll clarify this as we go along. Got the Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords is using your clear thinking, your intellect, your earthly wisdom and your knowledge, your learning, and making some sort of a breakthrough, a mental breakthrough, mental clarity, the truth. And in this case, it's in the reverse position. So with the Devil right on above the card, I'm thinking that you have not figured out the truth of this situation. Whatever this situation is here with the Devil, however you are entrapped, enslaved, or locked into something that perhaps is not in your best interest, you haven't yet worked that out. And maybe, here you're at this, it's interesting, you've got this Two of Swords, but it's in reverse. So you're at some sort of a crossroads. You still haven't worked that out yet. You haven't worked out this business here. Whatever this is, it looks like you need to work it out, and somehow you're not able to make a decision about what it is, because this is quite this will be having a negative effect on your well-being in some way, but you need to work out what that is. All right, now we have the Four of Wands in reverse. Now the Four of Wands typically talks about marriage or engagements or weddings. Now you've got the Two of Cups on the table. Two of Cups on the table. So the Two of Cups is about love, and this would be about commitment. Between that card and this card, and as I said, the Four of Wands is in reverse. Between this card and this card, you've got the Devil and not knowing the truth. So, what I'm going to say, you may not like this, but perhaps the person that you are totally enthralled with and totally in love with and totally committed to is not who they seem to be. Perhaps you haven't known them long enough to make this commitment. Perhaps there's something about this person that you're committed to that is not for your highest good. Whatever it is, you don't know the truth, okay? You don't know the truth yet. So it's a good thing that this is not leading straight on, because here, again, this would be a foolish decision. Again, you won't like anything I'm saying. I'm reading the cards as I see them. I don't mince my words when I'm doing tarot. Unfortunately, a lot of people would like to gloss over the tarot and say everything's going to be lovely. The tarot isn't about that. The tarot is about giving you some insight as to what's happening. Don't be reckless. If you've got the devil right next to you here, you've got this love, this love of your life sort of card there. It's a good thing that it would be reckless to get married, is what the tarot is saying here. Okay, it would be reckless for you to get married or to commit yourself to this person. This person could be very controlling. This card is not in the negative aspect on the table, but the negative aspect of an emperor is that they're overly controlling. And that can be some form of bondage. Do you know what I mean? Having control about who you see, where you go, what you do. So if you've got somebody like that that's come into your life, somebody who doesn't allow you freedom to do what you want, and who doesn't allow you to contact your friends or your family, or who only wants them, that person only wants you to be with them all of the time, and then that can be overly controlling. But I'm not going to make that judgment because we're only halfway through the reading. You do have the star there, so perhaps you're not wanting to see what's being shown to you clearly. Perhaps the light is shining on something and you don't want to see it. This is an energy of something being not quite right, either being very tired or ill or not relaxed. That person's gone to their bed and they're in a bit of a dark space because they're probably tired or stressed or worn out or exhausted. It's in the reverse position. So hopefully you've not in that position any longer. Perhaps you've found your way out into the bright light. Perhaps you've found some spiritual comfort. That could be the case. This card here, so we read about this card, so this is asking you to use your intuition. Okay, it's very important for you to use your intuition, your inner guidance. Listen to your inner voice. The very fact that the devil is on the table, and the very fact that the star is in reverse, and the very fact that the high priestess is in reverse. You have to listen to your intuition. What is your gut saying to you? You do need to pay attention to that. This is the Knight of Cups. This is somebody coming to you with love. Now it's in the reverse position. My first instinct with all the other cards that are on the table is that perhaps this is not true love. It might seem like love, perhaps it's not love. Perhaps it's not true love. I just ask you to reflect on that. The Knight of Cups, he's got wings on his shoes and wings on his hat. That can sometimes mean haste. Don't be too hasty in falling in love and being overly committed and into a situation you can't get out of. Okay, Gemini, I'm surprised if you're still listening to me because you may not like what I'm saying, but as I said, I try not to mince my words. I read the tarot as I see it. As much as I would like to bring you good news, I am getting the sense that perhaps you've met somebody who is, doing all the right things and speaking all the right words, but I'm beginning to wonder if this person is not all they seem. I do ask you to, it's interesting that you've got the blindfold on this person. Now, they can take that blindfold off any time. And, because it's under the moon, don't be under any illusions. Judge a person by their actions, not just their words. I always say words are cheap. People can say anything they like. But if you judge them by their actions. Okay, let's overlay these with the second set of cards. If you're still here, Gemini, bravo. I don't mean to be disrespectful to you or to be, to judge you. This is not about judgment. This is not about disrespect towards you. I'm only reading the cards, okay? I can only read what I see. And, if this really is making you feel unhappy, then find another reader, because there's no point in sort of thinking that I'm trying to confront you. That's not what it's about, okay? That I'm not here to be confrontational with you, all right? Okay, the Emperor. One more shuffle. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man in reverse. So he's normally should be that way. So the Hanged Man in reverse tells me that you're not taking time enough to... You're not giving yourself the space or the time, sufficient time, to think things through clearly. Let's have a look at the Devil. I don't like this reading any more than you do, Gemini, believe me. I would like to tell you everything was rosy. Occasionally I get one of those readings where everything is just beautiful. And I put harmony crystals on the table today. But we haven't finished the reading yet, so let's just see how it pans out. Sometimes the first cards that come out don't always give you the full picture. The Devil card, the Devil card is clarified by the High Priestess. Okay, High Priestess, you got that here. You had it in reverse. Now you've got it in the upright position. So again, use your intuition, find that balance. Look at the light side, look at the dark side. Look at this Devil situation in the daytime. Look at it in the nighttime. See how your thoughts differ about how you think about this Devil situation, both at nighttime, because your thoughts are often quite different in the night than they are in the daytime. Okay? Use your intuition. Let your gut speak to you. Let your higher self speak to you, and see what comes out. And then you'll have a better idea of what's going on. Because, as you can see, one side of it is only half the crown. You've only got half knowledge if you are only listening to one side of yourself. If you're only listening to the daytime voice, you've only got half the knowledge. If you listen to the nighttime voice as well, you've got a full crown of knowledge. Let's have a look at the Fool. Let's clarify this Fool. It's rather interesting now. I've just looked at this Fool card. He's carrying this white flower and he's got white sleeves. Do you know, if you were watching a card game where somebody was trying to dupe you, you would be, they'd be wearing white gloves, or they'd be wearing a white shirt, or and again, they'd be having white flowers, because white is always synonymous with purity and truth. And make sure you know the truth. That's what I'm going to say to you. I'm going to put that card back because I just got distracted, and I think I'd rather do it the right way for you. Oops, there we go. That one's come out. So we're talking, okay, Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is often about money holding on too tightly. It's in the reverse position. So I'm going to say again, maybe holding on too tightly to one point of view. That's possible. Hanging on too tightly for one point of view. Or hanging on too tightly because you want it to be true. That's the other thing I can say. Hanging on too tightly because you want it to be true, or hanging on too tightly because you know, there's only that one point of view. Let's have a look at the Star. Page of Pentacles. So, Page of Pentacles is often somebody quite young, or somebody commencing a bit of a journey that's, only at the beginning of their journey, or having made a few steps in their journey but not quite there yet. Now it's in the reverse position. So she is walking uphill, but in the reverse position she would be walking downhill. Normally this would be also about on a spiritual quest, which would relate to the cosmos. So again, I'm thinking that you're not giving yourself any time to follow a spiritual path, or to look within yourself, or to listen to, perhaps not listening to people who have wisdom, or spiritual counselors. Okay, let's just have a look at this High Priestess in reverse. King of Cups. Okay, King of Cups in reverse. Right. Now, this to me, the King of Cups knows how to give love and receive love. He knows how to be generous and loving and kind. In the reverse position, it's manipulation. Manipulation and control. Let's have a look at the Two of Cups. Eight of Wands. Okay, this is lovely energy, and these are fast incoming messages. Messages coming in towards you. Will you listen to the messages? Do you hear the messages? These are the messages. See, it's showing the birds. The birds are messages from your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual ancestors are sending you a message. Let's have a look at this Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords is always also, it can be words, okay? Lots and lots of words. It's always about things like legal matters, understanding, learning words, all of that sort of stuff. In the reverse position, perhaps hurtful words, things that cut you. Only putting it out there. Okay, like I said, Gemini, I'm getting a feeling about this reading, and I'm trying not to put words into my own mouth, but I am trying to bring some clarity to the things I see. Okay, and what I see on the cards is what I say. I try. Oh, that card doesn't want to come out. Okay, let's keep going. Ace of Swords. Two. Okay, two want to come out. Okay, what have we got? We've got the Lovers in the reverse position. We've got the Ace of Wands in the reverse position. Now, the Ace of Wands in the upright position, I would normally say this is a card of high fertility, high creativity, a new idea, something that you're working on, a new project, but I also always mention that this is sexual energy. It can be highly fertile sexual energy. So we have got the Lovers with highly fertile sexual energy, but they're in the reverse position. So I would normally say that that perhaps is not a match made in heaven. Perhaps with this, you know, with this card here, the creative energy underneath, and underneath the Devil, perhaps somebody is just only interested in sex. It's not true love. Perhaps they're pretending it's true love. Perhaps they're only interested in sex. But we'll keep going. The cards are definitely reading out the only way I can put it together. Let's have a look at the Four of Wands. I'm sure I'm just talking to myself by now. I'm sorry, Gemini. I really am. Okay, Page of Cups. A little bit like the Page of Pentacles. Youthful energy. This is daydreaming and wishful thinking, dreaming about love. All the kinds of love that anybody really wants. You know, people, somebody to be loving and compassionate and generous and kind to them. It's in the reverse position. Perhaps thinking that you might never meet the right person. Let's have a look at the Four of Swords. Okay, Seven of Cups. Wishful thinking, daydreaming, imagining what it would be like to have all those wonderful things in those cups, but not everything in those cups is wonderful. Some of those things are poison chalices. They bring you misery and heartache and pain. Trouble is, we don't know when we reach out to something, especially when we reach out emotionally to someone, we don't know what we're going to get back in reverse. What reciprocal energy we're going to receive from that person. So we can wear our heart on our sleeve and say to that person, I love you. Will they reciprocate? Will they just say the words I love you but not mean it with all their heart and not mean it with their actions? Let's have a look at this King of Cups. King of Cups. King of Pentacles. Okay. So this King of Pentacles is somebody with money. Somebody who is probably older than you, more grounded in their things that they've got on earth. In other words, they've probably got a house and a car, probably a little bit well-to-do, probably can take you out and give you a nice time. But it's in the reverse position, so perhaps this person is utilizing their money and I'll use the word with untrue intentions. I'm putting it nicely, okay? That person can be buying their way into a situation, or, you know, using their money for control or power, or satisfying themselves at the expense of someone else. I'll show you what's on the bottom of the deck. I can't see what that is. Strength. Okay, it's in the reverse position. So strength is about finding your inner strength. I do think, Gemini, you need to go within yourself, use your intuition, use your better judgment, look at the actions of the person that we're talking about. Are their actions the actions of someone you really want to be with in the long term? Are they going to inflict pain? Are they going to give you love? Is this what you want for your future? Is this what you want in 5 years' time? Is this where you want to be in 10 years' time? It looks like you're having trouble gathering your strength, and it looks like you're having trouble making a decision. Gemini, this is probably one of the most difficult and unpleasant readings that I've had to do. But you've got the King of Pentacles in reverse. You have got the King of Cups in reverse. You have got the Devil on the table. You have got the Emperor on the table. You have, you know, there are so many controlling cards here of things, of somebody using their power and their strength and their money and all of that control for the wrong reasons. Your spiritual ancestors, your guides, your angels, your intuition is trying to speak to you, is trying to send you a message. Bye for now, Gemini.